Yo, yo, what's up? Welcome, opening line. Corey and Benny kicking it. I believe this is Wednesday. So glad to be here. Got drafts coming up this weekend. FantasyGuru.com Draft Guide 2019 is where you prepare for those things at. What's up, Benny? How you doing? How's life down the shore?
Yeah, life down the shore is not bad, although we've had a lot of thunderstorms the last couple of days, which kind of sucks because my internet keeps going in and out. People who don't live in like a major metropolitan area don't realize the struggle of good internet. You know, like you live around New York City, you never really have to worry. It doesn't matter which provider you have. You might bitch about it. They're all much better than the provider offerings you get the further away from, civilization. When you're in the middle of I'm in the middle of like the sticks, like the Jersey Devil territory down in South Jersey. It is not great internet.
Why do you say Jersey Devil territory?
So that's basically like they call it like the sticks down in South Jersey where there's like all the trees and everything. Like, it's supposed to be where the quote unquote Jersey Devil lives, if you believe in all the.
Oh, so there really is supposed to be a Jersey Devil.
I mean, it's obviously like
a legend.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know. I have never seen it personally. There are people who say that there's some kind of devil beast animal thing. I'm starting to sound like Tommy G with the conspiracy theories.
Oh, God. Jeffrey Epstein's alive.
You know what? I mean, Tupac's alive, so I don't know.
Jeffrey Epstein might be alive, to be honest with you. What I wanted to do? I wanted to get in a couple of things that we missed on yesterday, Benny. Then we always spend a lot of time talking about players that we like. I want to get into some players that we don't really talk about and try to get your opinion on some of those guys.
Okay.
This thing yesterday with the Giants and the Browns and Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. Oh, man, son. I wonder why Mayfield is kind of like picked like the Giants as his. You know what I'm saying? Did the Giants pass on him?
I think a lot of people – well, no, because wasn't Baker number one overall?
Was number one overall.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not like they passed on him or anything.
Yeah.
I think it's more just like he's got his guys back, right? Like, I mean, Odell Beckham's his guy now, for better or worse, and Baker's his quarterback, so he's going to have his guys back. That's the way I kind of look at it, to be honest with you.
I think it's dope because I hate the New York Giants. Odell said the Giants letting him go was personal. I agree with that.
It was. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who disagrees with it. Listen, you didn't let Odell Beckham go because he wasn't a productive football player.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't about football, then it had to be personal, right? I mean, what else is there?
Yeah, they didn't like the fact that the quarterback wasn't good enough for him no more. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, well, we love the quarterback. You have to go. You know what I mean? So I think that's a personal decision right there, Benny.
I mean, listen, we already heard John Mara say that he hopes Eli Manning has a great year this year and that Daniel Jones doesn't get off the bench.
That's right. He damn sure did say that.
So this all stems from that same thought process, right? I mean, the whole thought process is we're going to keep kissing Eli's ass because Eli gave us 2 Super Bowls, which really weren't because of Eli, but, he's the quarterback, so he gets the credit. Better or worse, quarterbacks always get all the credit. Quarterbacks always get all the blame. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And I think that this all kind of stems from that same thing is they made the decision that Eli Manning was their guy. He was going to be the face of their franchise. They did not. Again, better or worse. Put it this way. They paid Eli Manning $20-something million, and they traded Odell Beckham away. There is no team in sports that's going to tell you keep and pay your aging superstar and you get rid of your young budding superstar.
You get rid of the best offensive player in franchise history.
I mean, it literally doesn't make sense for any reason other than being personal. Like it wasn't because of money because you gave Eli $20 million, so you easily could have cut Eli and just kept the Odell Beckham salary on the books. You'd have the same exact salary cap you have now. It wasn't about money, and it sure as hell wasn't about football because we all know how talented, Odell Beckham is. So, yeah, it definitely was personal. I mean, there's no other way to look at it.
Oh, no doubt. So I agree with that. That was two of the top stories, kind of just going on out there yesterday. We haven't had a chance to talk about, Benny. I wanted to get your opinion on. DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh, the injury?
Yeah.
Man, it's like, listen, I always loved Cousins. He's a hell of a basketball player, but we talk about it all the time with big guys, man. Like big guys break down, and once they start breaking down, they're broken down. You know what I mean? Like this. Just think about how it's every year. It's every year he misses half the season, comes back, plays a little bit, gets hurt again. You know, I mean, it sucks to say the guy is.
Do you think his career is over?
I think that DeMarcus Cousins, the way we think of DeMarcus Cousins, or the way I still want to think of DeMarcus Cousins, is over. When you say like his career is over, like can he come back and do what he did last year and play 2 or 3 good games and have a nice 2-3 week stretch, 2-month stretch? Maybe, but he's never going to be the guy that he was.
And he's playing contract, so it's like you don't even have a team, really. You know what I mean? Because he'll be on the Laker bench this year, but he's never going to play for the Lakers.
I mean, listen, if you watched him play last year, you could tell already, like, he wasn't moving. The thing that made DeMarcus Cousins so good, Corey, is not only was he so big, 6'11", 280 pounds, just muscle on muscle, but he was big, he was fluid, and he was athletic. Now you take the athletic part of that away from him. He's still fluid. He's still talented with the ball in his hands. He's still big. That's not going to change. But he's basically, Zydrunas Ilgauskas right now instead of, the guy that can get up and down the floor and cause matchup problems inside and outside for other teams. He's basically going to have to be a guy that's just like a rebounder, finish, stand still kind of center down there in the lane. And defensively, he's going to be a huge liability because he's not going to be able to move. So the DeMarcus Cousins we knew, I hate to say it, is gone.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too. Because like you said, remember him. You're going back to the days with the University of Kentucky. And then you feel as if you're never going to get to see that player again.
Yeah.
A little bit later on, get into some AP top 25. But right now, Benny, let's hop on, sort of talk some football. I don't have not one single share of Joe Mixon this year. Is that a mistake?
I mean, probably. So who have you been going with? Mixon is going somewhere around the beginning to the middle of the second round. Lately, he's actually been falling more towards the back end of the second round. So who are you putting ahead of him that you haven't had any chances to draft him yet?
It's the player that I have been drafting, or players that I've been drafting. Well, mainly it's one guy that I've drafted more so than others in that spot. That's Le'Veon Bell.
What spot are you? Where are you?
If I'm on that 11th, if I'm on the first turn, the 1-2 turn, you
right?
Know what I'm saying? And and I'm looking at Joe Mixon there. I would take Le'Veon Bell, or I'll go with a wide receiver instead.
All right, so go over to wide receivers. I was going to say, because, I mean, I'm going to be honest. If it's Le'Veon Bell versus Joe Mixon, I'm taking Le'Veon Bell too. Like, that's not even a question. But you're probably going wide receiver more. I tend to go running back heavy this year. It's just a strategy that I'm using this year based on the way I see the boards playing out. So I've been getting a decent – I'm not going to say a decent amount. Like, I have a couple shares of Mixon. There are guys like Dalvin Cook is going right around where Mixon's going. Marlon Mack has been going a little behind them. Kerryon Johnson is jumping up in there into that range as well.
He really is. He's really an ADP riser.
Yeah, so those are some of the guys who you're probably going to have the decision of Mixon or this guy, right? Here's my thing with Mixon is, in my opinion, he's not an elite back, but he's better than most of the other guys that you're drafting there. And the reason for that is, he's going to see a lot of volume. He did last year.
He's the whole show.
Yeah, he's basically the whole show. That's really what it comes down to there. So I'm going to say it this way. Like, I don't mind Mixon if he falls to me. If I have a pick in the 12-team – I do a lot of 12-team drafts. So I'm thinking of, like, 12-teamer situations.
Yeah.
If I have a top 6 pick, which means that on the way back I have somewhere around, like, 19 to 24. If he's available to me 19 to 24, I consider him in that range with the other guys that I just mentioned there, the Dalvin Cooks, the Marlon Macks, the Kerryon Johnsons. I probably like him. I think I like Cook a little bit better. I agree. Second on that list for me, because I like him more than I like Kerryon, and I like him more than I like Marlon Mack.
Todd Gurley's been spoke about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't own Todd Gurley nowhere. I'm not to say that I won't. Are you buying this? Are we as the industry making a major mistake sleeping on Todd Gurley this year?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing that's the problem to me, right? Is Todd Gurley worthy of a top 5 pick this year? No, he's not. So I don't think anybody who's saying that is wrong. And I 100% agree with him. I would not take Todd Gurley as a top 5 pick. The problem I have, Corey, and I do have some Todd Gurley shares because a lot of them came when I had picks in the top 4 or 5 of a draft. And I was able to get Todd Gurley either on the back end of the second round or the beginning of the third round is where he was falling at some points earlier in the draft season. At that point, you don't need him to be the number 1 overall running back like he was last year. If you're getting him at pick 18 to 25, like right around that second turn when it comes back to you, if you were one of the first few picks, if you're getting him in that range, I think you're getting great value because I think you're getting a guy who could be a top 10 guy still. I mean, listen, we talked about Henderson, right? Henderson is the guy that everybody was all excited about. He is struggling in camp. He is not doing well. He's not being able to pick up the blocking schemes and hit the holes and wait and have the patience that he's supposed to. So if that's the guy that everybody was worried about, really we've seen him not live up to the hype that a lot of people had for him. The other thing, too, is the way that they're talking about Todd Gurley's usage. We mentioned this right at the beginning of draft season. It's not that they don't want Todd Gurley to still have a big role. It's that they're going to try to limit his snaps while not limiting his touches. Well, we only really care about touches. I don't care about the times he's on the field blocking.
Yeah.
I don't care about the times he's on the field and not getting the ball. I care about him still getting 20-plus touches. I don't know if we get there, but if you're still going to give me 15 to 20 touches a game at a Todd Gurley in one of the top offenses in football, as a late second round, early third round kind of pick, there's a lot of value there. As a mid-second round pick, I think you're getting him around where he should be. If you're taking him in the first round, you're still probably overvaluing Todd Gurley for this season.
Yeah, well, the thing that I say is, and Mike claimed an interesting point this weekend. He was like, the Rams have never said that Todd Gurley is going to have his workload managed. It's been people outside of the organization. The organization has never really said that. So I find that interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we are giving Gurley too much of a discount, but, pessimism is the nature of the beast. I don't own not one share of Leonard Fournette, Benny.
All right, so I don't either, Corey. And it's not because I don't like the talent. It's because I don't trust him to stay healthy.
I agree. That's basically what it is right there.
I don't have any more analysis. I don't have any deeper analysis than that. The whole analysis for me is he's so injury prone that I don't want to take that risk.
If you could sign up for 12 games of Leonard Fournette as your RB3 in round 4.
Is it the first 12 games or the last 12 games? Because I want him for the championship, if that's the case.
First 12 games.
And I lose him for the important part of the season? I probably would in round 4.
Yeah.
Probably would in round 4. But he hasn't always dropped to round 4. People are taking him before he gets there. Because people have been taking him before Devonta Freeman in a lot of drafts I've been in. And Devonta Freeman is a guy that's going at the end of round 3.
Yeah. And I would go Freeman over Fournette.
I have multiple times.
Yeah, there you go. Aaron Jones or Kerryon Johnson?
I mean, listen, just because I don't want to take Kerryon Johnson in the first round or the beginning of the second round where he's starting to hop up right now, doesn't mean I don't like him. I still like him, and I probably would take him over Aaron Jones. I don't think Aaron Jones is a bad play either. I think he's another guy that people are sleeping on, but I do slightly like Kerryon Johnson more than Aaron Jones.
This is an interesting one for me. I like both players. I like both backs.
Mm-hmm.
I worry about health with Johnson. With Jones, I worry about Aaron Rodgers forgetting about him. So they got the little warts. If Aaron Jones ADP is probably better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Aaron Jones is around 30. Kerryon Johnson. I don't want to use Kerryon Johnson's like ADP since July since June because it's way different now.
Put it like this, Benny. He is going off the board right now. Well, not right. Let me not say it like that. he has been drafted as high as round 2, pick 1. He is solidly in the second round now. Period.
Yes.
It's end of the story. He's a second round draft pick now.
Yeah, and Aaron Jones is a third.
Yep.
And that's what I was going to say is if you're asking me which one of those two guys, I mean, again, we talk about risk and reward here all the time, right, Corey? Like, if I'm taking Kerryon Johnson in the second round, I need him to hit and hit big.
Yep.
I take Aaron Jones in the third round. He's my RB2. You know, I probably got a good receiver and another good running back already in round 1 and 2. If he does well, I'm okay. If he hits and has a big year, that's great. I feel like there's no upside to get on Kerryon Johnson, taking him in the second round. I will take Aaron Jones 10 picks later and kind of roll the dice with that and build my team around that bet.
I would agree with you on that one. I don't have any. I give you 2. I don't have any Derrick Henry. I don't have any Josh Jacobs.
I don't have any Josh Jacobs either, and I don't really think it's a mistake. I'm not really a huge fan. I do have a little bit of Derrick Henry. Listen, Derrick Henry, you know what it is. As long as they're winning, he's going to be the guy that has the ball in his hands. You know, we thought it was going to be a split last year with Deion Lewis. They started that way at the beginning of the year. By the end of the year, it was all Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's going to have some big games for you. I don't like to have to count on Derrick Henry on a weekly basis.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, if you can get him as a flex, that's great, because there will be some games where you'll be like, you know what, this is a game, bad run defense, like, you know, a game they could win. Like, I want to roll Derrick Henry today. But I don't want to have to count on him on an every week basis. So if you can get him third round or later where, you know, even like fourth round or so, where you already have 2 running backs and he's your third, your flex guy or something, I'm kind of good with it. But he's not a guy that I'm like actively targeting, if that makes sense.
Moving over to wide receiver, Benny. I don't have any Julian Edelman. I've never had. I think I may have owned Julian Edelman on the fantasy team once.
I have him in one best ball, and it was like one of the first ones that I did because he had a Q next to his name, so he dropped way further than he should have. Like I think right now his ADP is like 40, and I got him in like a 5th round pick.
His ADP is sitting at 37. I don't have any Brandon Cooks.
I don't have any Brandon Cooks either. Is that a mistake? You know what it is you have to choose who you like in the Rams, right? Like there's 3 guys, and all 3 of them, I think we've actually had this discussion before. Like all 3 guys you can make a good case for. So it just really matters like where you want to go draft one of them. I'm a Robert Wood guy myself. So I have a couple shares of Robert Wood. So I've been taking – the 2 of them are very close in ADP too. So you have to make that decision there. Cooper Kupp's ADP is not far off from them either.
They're grouped together. They're basically like 16, 17, 18.
So basically what happens with the Rams is everybody is going to have a favorite Rams receiver. I'm going to say it this way, Corey. All 3 of these guys are probably going to get action. That's what we saw last year. They spread it around. They have a good offensive coordinator. The way they run their offense, everything gets spread around so that, you know, they take advantage of matchups and things like that. I don't want to be the guy to tell anybody not to take Cooks or not to take Kupp, but I think you really have to look at that receiving core and say, which of these 3 guys do I like the best?
Yeah.
Because you can make a valid argument for any of the 3. You know, I know people who absolutely love Cooper Kupp. So to me, the guy who's probably kind of slipping the most is Brandon Cooks, but he's not slipping in ADP. I just don't have any shares of him because for me, the Rams receiver I want is Robert Wood.
I don't have any Alshon Jeffrey.
I don't either, and I don't think it's wrong. There's just too many mouths to feed over there, right? You know that the one they want to feed the most is Ertz, even if they say it's not.
Definitely 100% on that. I think I'm open to getting a few shares of Alshon Jeffrey. I think he's underpriced, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are overlooking him. I definitely can dig and understand your concerns about the mouths to feed. I would have to go through and look if he was more of a part of the offense. I feel like he was more of a part of the offense with Foles than he was with Wentz.
It would make sense, but I got to be honest, I haven't dug. He just hasn't really been on my radar, so I haven't dug into it enough to say yes or no to you because I really don't know.
I don't have any of your boy, and I've owned him before, Robbie Anderson. I don't have any Robbie Anderson this year.
I mean, that's a mistake. It's a mistake. No, listen, I'm going to be honest.
I take Robbie Anderson over Alshon Jeffrey.
Probably not, no.
Okay.
Robbie Anderson is right. If I'm not mistaken, Robbie Anderson is right next to Allen Robinson, right? Like their ADPs are like within. Basically, they're both on the board at the same time, right? It's like 60 and 62 or something like that. Am I right?
75 for Robinson, 63 for 75 for Anderson, 63 for Robinson. This is current. This is the last 10 days, though.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean the two of them are basically within a round of each other, so they're on the board at the same time right there. I've been taking Allen Robinson more often. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Corey. You know where I get Robbie Anderson? When somebody snipes me for Allen Robinson in that same round.
Okay, there you go. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, me and you have no interest in Dante Pettis.
None whatsoever. Not even he is a guy that I have skipped. No, I'm being honest, because his ADP is like 80 right now, and that makes no freaking sense to me. He might not even start, Corey. He might not even start this year, and people are still taking him as a seventh round pick. No, don't just stay.
I never got the Dante Pettis love. I definitely don't get it now. I'm trying to figure out some other wide receiver. Marvin Jones, name we don't really talk about that much. Should get a lot of targets considering they got 3 healthy bodies, and one of them is Danny Amendola.
I actually like Marvin Jones and have been taking shares of him. His ADP is right there with Dante Pettis. And that's what I say. Like every time somebody takes Pettis with Marvin Jones on the board, I literally laugh. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
10 days, though, Benny. Pettis is 78. Marvin Jones is 100.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Here's the thing to me, right, is I prefer Kenny Golladay. In a vacuum, if you just said to me, if we're having an auction draft and both guys are the exact same price, I'll take Golladay over Jones. But I think they're very close. Galladay's going like 40th, 50th pick. Marvin Jones is going like 80. You're telling me it's up to 100 right now, which is crazy to me, but, 80, 90th pick. So I think you're getting much better value on Marvin Jones than you are on Kenny Golladay. And to me, they're like 1 and 1A. Like maybe 1A and a very close 2. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's that much of a difference between either one of those guys that one guy should be going 4 rounds ahead of the other guy.
I would agree with you on that. I want to head over to tight ends right quick. And I wish I got to pull it up because I got a couple of tight end sleepers for y'all. And I'm talking about last pick of the draft. Maybe even not last pick of the draft. Maybe put a star next to his name on your watch list and then be the first to jump if he starts to pop off the waiver wire. I can't think of the young man's name, Benny. I'm quite sure he's not even showing up on
Yo, you just triggered something for me when you said waiver wire, and I bet you when I say this, you're going to be like, oh, man, I missed it too. Today was the waiver wire for Scott Fishbowl.
Jesus Christ, Benny.
Yeah, I think it was last night. I completely forgot about it. It's Wednesday. I completely forgot about it. Crap. All right. Well, I liked my team anyway, but hopefully I can go dig through and see which bones people missed.
Normally an email will come up.
It came on Sunday. That's why I remembered. I was like, oh, yeah, I got to do this before Wednesday. And now it's Wednesday morning, and I'm like, oh, crap, we missed it.
Maybe he doesn't run till tonight, though.
I don't know. I'll double check when we get offline, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so everybody, if you're in Scott's Fishbowl, Benny just gave us a little tip. You know what I'm saying? We can go in there and run waivers tonight. Speaking of which, I want to find this young man's – I'm already set up on the computer the way I want to be. Son of a gun, Benny. Not Tyler Eifert, is Travis Kelce is head and shoulders above the rest of the tight ends, right? Mm-hmm. It's the perfect article right here. So that's an easy one. He's a first rounder, second rounder, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at the rest of the tight ends, Benny, I don't have any Vance McDonald. A lot of people like Vance McDonald.
I love Vance McDonald. We talked about this once before too. So Vance McDonald was like a 50%, basically a 50-50 timeshare, maybe even the bigger share, maybe even the 60-40 share on passing downs with Jesse James for the last couple of years in Pittsburgh. Jesse James is gone now, so he's at the very least going to get bumped up to 70-80% of the snaps right now. So that alone makes him more interesting to me. Both of those guys used to get a couple targets. The biggest thing that was holding either one of them back was the fact that you had both of them there. And, sometimes you get a big Jesse James game. Sometimes you get a big game from Vance McDonald. So that alone is something good. And then on top of it, you have to make up for 100-something Antonio Brown targets that are now gone. I know that, you brought in Dante Moncrief and James Washington will probably have a bigger role, and that's all well and good. But you're not going to make up for Antonio Brown's volume with one guy. It's going to wind up being like maybe Juju gets 2 or 3 more looks, and maybe Dante Moncrief gets half as many looks as Antonio Brown used to, and you give 1 or 2 to Washington, you give 1 or 2 to McDonald. Vance McDonald could be like a 7 target a game kind of guy. That would make him like a 4 or 5 catch a game kind of guy. We know that he's a big red zone target because he's a big, tall guy. We've seen him take people by the face and mush him to the ground and run 7 touchdowns. The guy's athletic, he's talented, and now I think he's going to have a much bigger opportunity. So I really like Vance McDonald this year. He's actually a guy that I've been kind of targeting a little bit and, getting some more shares of recently because I realized I didn't have enough of.
Interesting. Okay. I don't have no Eric Ebron this year, and I think that's probably going to change. Yeah, so we got Benny just hopped out on this one right here. So we'll try to go ahead and get it reset and get it reloaded. Maybe we'll get Benny back on. What we'll probably more than likely do is we'll take this one, download this one right here, put this one up, and then we'll pick up this conversation on the other side in a second video. So you have both of those on the website. We'll tweet out the first link, and then what we'll do is we'll come back, and then you'll see the second video right there also. So let me set this back up again, hop it back on with Benny, and we'll be right back.